outrage has continued to trail the killing of Deborah Emmanuel by a mob in Sokoto State on Thursday over alleged blasphemy by fellow students who went ahead to set her body on fire. How do you react to these shocking incidents, BQ?
I'm disappointed. The death of any man or woman in this manner should not make us happy. God does not permit the killing of a fellow man unless due process has been followed. If, for example, you were involved in a crime and you took someone's life, you'll be put through trial. And if you are sentenced to death, then your life will be taken. That is what has been handed down. Whether it is through Sharia law or through conventional law, no one is permitted to take another person's life without that person going through the court process. In 1999, a certain man, Abubakar Dansala, and 5 of his friends decided to kill one Abdullah Alhaji Umar, whom they accused of insulting the Holy Prophet of Islam. They were arrested after they killed him. In fact, one of them cut his neck. He just had that he insulted the Holy Prophet, and he said there were witnesses and all that. And then they went to meet him in front of his house, grabbed him, and the 6 of them decided to slaughter him. Then they were taken before a judge, the Kebbi High Court, on the 24th of February 2000. The judge sentenced them to die by hanging. Their appeal also failed. And then they were taken before the Supreme Court. Interestingly, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mahmood, our current Chief Justice of Nigeria, was the one who made the judicial pronouncement at the Supreme Court, sentencing them to death. Why? Because in the words of Justice Tanko, they did not follow due process. He said, and I quote in the judgment, Islamic religion is not a primitive religion that allows its adherents to take the law into their own hands and to commit jungle justice. Instead, there is a judicial system which hears and determines cases, including the trial of criminal offenses against the religion or against a fellow Muslim brother. He stated that the provision that, yes, there is the provision of the Risala, which prescribes the punishment of death to anyone who insults the Holy Prophet. Such punishment can only, listen to me, such punishment can only be imposed by the appropriate authority. That was Justice Tanko, our current Chief Justice of Nigeria, in the year 2000, giving a judgment sentencing to death persons who killed a fellow Muslim because they accused him of insulting the Holy Prophet. He then said something that I found interesting. It is the appellant, rather than the deceased, who committed an offense against Islam and Sharia by their own justified action. Sharia does not permit the killing of anyone without due process. It's as simple as that. Blasphemy is unacceptable. Blasphemy should not be condoned. Blasphemy by a Muslim is unacceptable. Blasphemy by a Christian against the Islamic faith is unacceptable. Is an act of provocation. Is something that should not be condoned. But at the same time, the Holy Book of Islam does not recommend the killing of anyone, except through due process. No matter what that person has done. And it's there in the Risala. I do not have time. I will have quoted copiously from different portions of that legal code, the Risala, which the chief judge quoted. The chief judge quoted a bit from it in sentencing those 6 individuals to death. The Supreme Court is known to have sentenced people to death for doing the kind of thing that was done in Sokoto. So our people need to be more patient when handling things like this. People will provoke you, but you are not allowed to take the law into your hand. Hand over the person to the law enforcement agencies who will ensure that that person is put on trial and appropriate punishment meted out. I'm happy that the president condemned the killing, the vice president condemned the killing, the Sultan, who is the head of the Muslim Ummah in Nigeria, condemned the killing. I've seen a good number of Muslims, a lot of them on social media, saying that no, these people do not represent our religion, that these people are just a bunch of murderers. And that was the same way that Justice Tanko described them in that Supreme Court judgment in the year 2000, that those guys who slaughtered a fellow Muslim whom they accused of blasphemy have committed murder, and they are a bunch of bloodthirsty. He used the word, Justice Tanko, not me now saying it. Justice Tanko used the word bloodthirsty, that they are a bunch of bloodthirsty criminals. We will build a greater nation when we have tolerance for one another. No one, as a Christian, should speak in derogatory terms against the Islamic religion. No one, as a Muslim, should demean the Christian religion. We should respect each other's choices, each other's religion. We must not blaspheme each other's religion. But where it happens, yes, it's extreme provocation, is something that should not be condoned. But no individual has the right to take anyone's life. Once that happens, whether if the person is a Muslim, he goes through the Sharia. He has to be tried. The only way by which the religion of Islam permits the shedding of human blood in this case is once that person has been put through trial and there is adequate testimony, he too admits his crime, and there is an indictment, and it is a judge. It's a judge that can make that pronouncement, not just some hungry people. So we have to be patient as a people and respect one another. Yes, these are difficult times. There is so much anger in the land for different reasons, but we must not take each other's lives in the manner that it happened in Sokoto. And I urge the authorities to do their best to secure Sokoto and ensure that this crisis does not escalate. We don't want to see it escalate. The enemies of Nigeria will want this to escalate. We don't want to see it escalate. The governor has already imposed a curfew because there was a massive demonstration. They have to do their best to keep that state calm. It's one of the safest states in terms of relationship between Christians and Muslims. Sokoto has a very good history, and that's what we want to continue to see. We don't want the situation to degenerate.
Right. So, BKO, finally, because of our time, you know, there are lots of comments. Some I can read out, some I can't read out, just to be very wary of the NBC codes. So it's of the opinion of the world-renowned Muslim scholars, just like you have also quoted, that, you know, in the event of a blasphemy, you engage such person intellectually or report to those in authority. So not taking laws into your hands, as you've said, and that itself is a sin. So these perpetrators are youths, BKO. How do you think the government should handle this case? Because this could mean war if not handled professionally, and we see what is already happening. You know, the protests on the streets and the curfew being declared, and also Kaduna government warning against, you know, protest. So please address this, because we are already out of time, BK.
What is to be done? We have to be vigilant. The enemies of the Nigerian state would want to exploit this situation to cause further bloodshed. We should not allow that to happen. People can't be bigger than the state. We have to secure our communities. We have to talk to clerics to constantly engage their people and get them to realize that there's no need to shed blood. We can't, after the death of Deborah, begin to kill ourselves again. No, it makes no sense. So in the far north, we have to be on top of our game. The security agent must be on top of the game to ensure that this thing does not escalate. There are many people who want to worsen things, but we have to be very, very wary of the need to keep our country safe, to keep our people safe. The mistakes have been made on both sides. So we should not allow things to degenerate further.